we've had scenarios where the government of Amechi gave a certain person 26 million, 40 million. Okay, go to this stuff for Rivers and let's see how it goes. The person collected the money and never did it. Veteran. The person that collected the money went to buy a power bank and left the film. We have Ibim Isaacs, a film, Amanabo doing amazing work. He had a London premiere.
Your king has been accused of indulging in human sacrifice.
We have Bobby Rat, yes, Dara. Beautiful project, you know.
Barack is no longer in Port Harcourt.
He's in Port Harcourt. He only has a base in Abuja.
Welcome to PowerCast. This is where we discuss life issues, navigating the intricate relationship between people, politics, and politics. My name is Solomon Waitanek. I am your host, and I come with a bit of juice here and there. So today we'll be talking about something very interesting, and this is a bit regional, because I come from a region that is very creative, and within the Nigerian space, if you're calling 10 or 20 A-list actors that are not based in the region, they came from this region. And that is the South and Niger Delta, Port Harcourt region. So today we'll be talking about what are the reasons why the creative industry vis-a-vis the movie industry has been dormant. The expected growth of talent never really achieves the expected fame that we look up to. Rather, a lot of them would move away from the region and move to another region, possibly Lagos and then out of the country. So, but the person we have today, he's been in the system within the Port Harcourt creative space, movie space for a while. And we are going to talk about what are the things that we need to do so we can take this region's creative platform from the level that it is to the desired level that makes it profitable to all and makes it accessible to all. So today, I want you to introduce yourself. My guest, introduce yourself to us.
Okay. Thank you, PowerCast, for having me. My name is Ibim Isaacs. I'm an actor, writer, film producer, film director, and event organizer. I am a Rivers man and a Port Harcourt boy to the blood.
Oh, Ibim, a Rivers man and Port Harcourt boy to the blood. So I usually address myself as a Port Harcourt boy, but I'm the global best. So I am a Port Harcourt boy to the world. Born and bred in Port Harcourt, but then navigate around the world. Yes, Port Harcourt is my base, and I have that connection. I have stayed in Lagos and a bit of other part of Nigeria. But I noticed that if you look at a lot of the A-list actors, even in comedy, in music, in acting, it is easy to point out 5, 6, 7, 8 of them that are Port Harcourt people, but they never really stay in Port Harcourt. They have to leave Port Harcourt. Yeah. So why do you think that happens? And not just does it happen, it has been happening and it still happens till now.
Okay, so by the nature of my journey as a creative here, having been here active as a creative since 2004, so I've been a musician, I've been a DJ, I've been a dancer, I've been there, I've done all of that.
That is always the journey of a creative. You just see yourself navigating everywhere, through all this fair.
You know, but one thing I've noticed is we don't have a conducive environment mentally and publicly.
Okay, hold on. So we're going to take it in bits. You said a conducive environment mentally and then publicly. Let us look at mentally. What do you mean as a conducive environment mentally?
Okay, so mentally in the sense that a typical creative here is entitled, is less exposed, not really skilled at what they do. So here we are.
Is it skilled or gifted? Because I know from here you have some of the most gifted people I've ever seen.
That is the problem. We are like just the blessing.
So it is more like raw skill. Raw gift that has not been.
It has not evolved into.
Yes, it has not been crafted. It has not been grown. It has not been finessed.
That is the word.
For it to now become a skill that is transactionable.
Now, when that is there, right, and the person is still entitled and blocked in the mind, right, you see that it's not easy to step up to where time is. So I always ask, we're having a conversation before today, right? We said, how many of our creatives, right, can actually invest in personal development? How many film schools do we have here? How many music schools do we have here? How many schools of cinematography do we have here? How many functional business schools do we have here? And what is the percentage of the number of Rivers State-based creatives that in those institutions? As far as I can remember just one film school. Unlike the other environments where you can, every 2, 3, 4 blocks, you can see a business, you can see a film school, you can see an acting class. Now, these are the issues, because for you to be ready to take the benefits of the industry, you must grow beyond street smartness, right? You must move from the point of being gifted to the point of being actually skilled. And being skilled is also relative, because you must be skilled to the point of being competitive with your colleagues beyond your environment, right? So if we have to juxtapose between a creative here, what happens to them? We always ask, what happens to a creative the moment he leaves the Port Harcourt environment? Something changes. The attitude changes, even up until the way they sound in their music, in their performance. It's because a new knowledge has come. But right here, we are all comfortable. We feel like, okay, I did my town. I go do am because say I did gifted. No, but they say talent is not enough. Now, because that person is not exposed in the mind, it affects the way the person sees business. So how many of us can go through a business document and know what the clause is saying, what each appendix is saying? We don't have that knowledge. Hence, we can't compete. Hence, we can't actually grow beyond the point of being talented. I will say it again. Because you are talented, because they gave birth to you as a musician, because they gave birth to you as an actor, it is not what you will need all through the journey of becoming. It is not all you need. As blessed and as gifted as Michael Jackson was, he went to music school. He went to the music business school. He understands what an agreement means.
So now, from individual point of view, what do you think an individual, let's not go to the government. Most times I don't like talking about what government should do. What do you think an individual who finds himself in this space and feels, I like doing this thing, and I want to become the best?
Okay.
So the people listening to us, what would you advise a young creative who is at the crib in Uniport today, or who is just in the street, but the person knows I'm a creative, but I want to be better than this? What are the steps you can outline for the person to take to become the best, even while the person is in Port Harcourt?
Okay, so I want to use the Igbo mentorship, business mentorship model. So those guys are not actually schooled guys, right? But these guys, even in their poor educational state, they own the biggest of businesses.
They are educated, they are just not schooled.
They are just schooled. Yes. Good. Now, so what I would advise any young creative, seek mentorship, seek internship. Like, okay, so
hold on. You know now, mentorship is a two-way thing.
Yes.
So first is, whoever you want to mentor you would have to first agree and accept to mentor you.
Yes.
And then before you now start the process. So what if there are no enough people in the environment that want to take up these people as mentors? Because for you to take up someone as mentor, as a mentee, you need to have the capacity. So first, you need to have the time. Second, you need to have the resources. Thirdly, you need to also be mentally available to guide them on the ropes.
Okay.
So how many of those veterans do we have that have opened their minds and their doors to the younger ones to say, hey, I need people to come. I want to show you what I have known for the years.
So I'll always use myself as an example, right? And I always tell people that any story that is not personal, I think is a media stunt. That's how I say it, right? Because everybody has a personal story. So a time came in my career where I knew that I needed to, if I post on social media, I get like 3 likes after like 4 years, right? And I knew that was an issue of me not being visible. I felt that, okay, I've not done enough for people to like connect with me. So what did I do? I had to find somebody. I saw somebody who had the tendency of doing film. I paid for a photography class. He didn't need he needed someone to hold, because as where he was, he also felt like he hasn't done enough. But I saw something that I think I needed. So I went into his system. I offered to write, act, and produce for free. So every day I show up, having paid a class for photography. I left photography after like barely 2 weeks. I became a writer, a producer, and an actor. And from that point, I became the Ibim of Port Harcourt. Now, the problem we have with the young ones is they hold on to what they have. Secondly, they are not smart enough to understand that you can't get mentorship from somebody who doesn't need the service you have. So if I want to be a student of world famous Hilda Dokobo, I have to ask myself, why? Why will she want me to work on that? She doesn't need, nobody wants to teach you. Nobody really wants to work with that whole stress of wanting to lead you on, right? So I have to go to her saying, look, I can do this for you. And she will always open her arms to the person who wants to actually give.
So first, what you're saying is, you don't just go demanding, you go giving.
You must give.
And that is the simple principle of life, where if you give, you receive.
Simple.
But unfortunately, in this our region, it is easy to see young people and people generally want to receive before
without giving nothing.
That is anti-life. That is anti-creation.
True.
Creation is not take and give. Creation is give and take. A husband gives sperm and a baby comes out. So a husband would not be a virgin and then the baby comes out. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
so
true.
It's always give and take. So in this stead, what you're saying is a message to the young people that they need to have first the mindset of I have to give. And it is not necessarily money.
It has never been about money.
It's your time.
Yes.
It's your obedience. It's your willingness.
Loyalty.
It's your loyalty. And these are the things that they need. So can you now say something to the veteran? Because we have a lot of them. I can just call Hilda Dokobo. I can call Yubo Koko. I can call Basoj Taria.
Yes.
I can call Julius Agu.
Yes.
We have a lot of them.
Gentle Jack, Walter Anga,
Yes,
Queen Wokoma, Justice League, the rest of them.
We even have the legendary
Sam
Dede. So what are the things you would want these legends to do for the region? Because it is not just enough to always relate to them that they are from the region, they are from the city, they all come back to the city. But we have not seen that impact.
Their presence.
Yes. What can you say that we need them to do?
Okay, so in one word, with all respect to them.
No, don't say it in one word.
Okay.
Say it in lots of words.
Okay, so I will say this, right? I need them to be present. I need them to be available. The only person I know that I know her office, I know her house. And that's not because we've had a little bit of dealings. That's because she always shows up, right? That's Dokubo Hilda, right? Once in a while, you could see Iboko here and there, right? But we need them to come back home.
I know your boy is always present, so even though he's not constantly in the country, but your boy is always present.
So we need them to come back home. We need the Mona Lisa Chindas, we need the Tonto DKs. We need them to come back home because one thing I've noticed that is our issue is very simple. As much as we need these guys to learn, they need people to look up to. Let me ask you, do you know that we'll have more people who are tilting towards content creation, comedy and politics and religion than people who are tilting towards the creative side?
Yeah, because
that's because you wake up, not quick money. You wake up in the morning, you go to Obibo, you will see, what's his name? Mark Angel. He has groomed a community of creatives who he has taught to live and earn from the content creation. Yeah? We have comedians. You can link up with Julius Agu, you know where he is. You have a motivation. You can have somebody to say, okay, yes, I know that I will see Mr. Funny today. I will see Unbuka. So I want to be like him. I was watching the movie and this little boy saw an Italian, a mafia, and he saw how much respect this guy carried. He saw how much power the guy exhumed. And all he told himself was, look, I want to be like this guy. So that is one problem. So aside mentorship, I need to wake up in the morning knowing that if I do a screenplay and I have Sam Didi, I can walk to and say, sir, I don't have the money to pay, but please help me. How can I make this project better? If they are not available, we have nothing to look up to. All we're going to fall back to is negative-minded politicians, cultists, armed robbers, hookup boys and girls who are fighting to be influencers. And what that happens is it dampens the level of progress, positive progress that the youth want to have. You go to Lagos, you will see Joke Silva, you will see everybody around. So the kid who is 5 years has been going to TerraCulture, has been going to the theater, and has been seeing these guys rehearse all for like 5-10 years. He knows that he's going to see them. So he has a mental picture. He has a motivation. Once they are absent, the truth is life abhors vacuum. In their absence, whatever is available becomes a motivation. That's how we have militants, we have causes, because they are not present. I need them to come back home. I need them to come and drive the change process. I need them to come and use their connections, their knowledge, and their influence to build the systems that the government will never build for us. Because as I say it, right, I will say it again. They have, I know we shouldn't go towards the government, but I will say this, yeah? They are friends with the governors, the politicians, right? They are the strongest voices to push the narrative for a better ecosystem for creatives, right? So in their absence, there is little or nothing that we can do until we get to have the amount of influence and power that they have. So it's time to jettison the whole issue that borders on Port Harcourt is not conducive, Port Harcourt people are arrogant. No, you can't tell me that out of 3 to 4 or 5 million youths in Rivers State, all of them are arrogant and refusing to learn. It is not true. They need to come back home. It is not a matter that should be contested.
So have we had something like a Port Harcourt Creative Summit?
Okay.
Because it is in a summit like that you can get all the veterans sit on a table,
yeah,
get all the young people on the other side of the hall,
yeah,
and then there is a conversation. When you have a conversation in such summit,
yeah,
there will be a communique. From that communique, there will be a roadmap that will be developed. It is that roadmap that will have a two-phased developmental plan, where one can be through the people, one can be through the government.
Yeah.
Do you guys have something like that, or have you done something like that, or do you have in mind to do something like that?
So everybody that knows me in Port Harcourt, yeah, in River State, knows that I'm big on community building. I'm big on having these conversations. Shout out to everyone who's doing what they can to ensure that we have a better ecosystem, right? I'll say this. We are independent in thought and in action.
So we're solo players.
We are solo players. So in the history of River State, I think I and one other lady are the only ones who have been able to pull out a film-related event. I have an event I'm putting at Central Film Summit and the River State Film Festival, right? Now, most of us have not stayed as long as these guys have stayed, right? So you now see that there is an issue. I could tell you the truth, yeah? If we have a summit, I can tell you who you will see. Sam Dede, Dokubo Hida, and Yebokoko. These are the three names that you will see. As busy as they are, they will find a way. They just faced UST had a film festival, Uniport had a creative event that they put together. Now, these people are not, I dare them, whenever they say I dare them, that if we have, because it begins from, if you can't come for a small film premiere, you will not come for the summit. Because you still say something, I don't have time, I'm shooting. I have this problem, I have that problem. It all boils down to the fact that they need to love the town. See, the fact that you're born from it doesn't mean you love the town.
So you think they don't love the town?
They like the town.
So why do you think they don't love the town? So
love is an exceptional feeling for something or someone. Right?
So you think the people, aside these three veterans that we have listed, so you think these are the ones that hardly would come for things, do not show enough love for the city?
I will say that again. I know I'll be called.
So you'd say that Mona Lisa Chinda does not love the town?
Aside for social events.
You say, what's her name? Fiberesima does not love the town.
Fiberesima is here, right? Okay. Shout out to her too. Shout out to her, right? But okay, let's go through the list of people who are indigenous and non-indigenous. People who this town have produced, who through the salt, water, sun, and rain of this town became who they are.
People like Francis
Duru, Emeka Inyocha, Iniedo, Bobby Ogoloma, Gentle Jack, Walter Anga, Ibinabo Fiberesima,
even Yon
Edoche, what's his name? Charles Inoje. We can go Justice Slick, right? It is different. And I can tell you that from over 20 to 25 of them, right, who went through crap, who were born here and evolved, there is no movement aside the fact that it is politics. There is no movement that has brought them together. See, as much as that we Rivers people we could be arrogant and uptight, that we also have that problem, right? Even us who are trying to improve, are trying to learn, right? What I'm saying is this. I've not seen a movement that's done by, if I see a movement of Water Anger, I see a movement of Gentle Jack, and they say, we want to have a summit. They should be the drivers of the process, not me. I grew up seeing these people as they were my heroes. I watched Vuga, like, oh my God, this is Gentle Jack. I watched Beautiful Man, like, almost see this. See, I understood the power of how much you can become from the battle that Ibim Isaacs had when she was pushing to become the AGN president. We all know the politics that happened there. But you see, that energy should be brought back home. They should remember that they will not be, history will not remember them for the awards they got. They won't remember for the amount of money they earned as filmmakers. They will be remembered for the lives they impacted. They will be remembered for the hands they pulled up the ladder. My mentor always, Tyler Perry will always say that I've been brought here by God to help people cross. They need to come back and be conscious. That's why I talk about the love. And be conscious about helping the creatives in their environment cross.
What is the process of doing a movie in Port Harcourt? What are the funding processes like? And how has it been getting funding for movies in Port Harcourt? These are 3 questions in one.
Okay, so the whole process of doing the movie, yes, from the idea to the creation of the concept, then to your production, and your post-production, then your marketing and all of that.
No, why I ask this, people would always give the negative narrative, oh, Port Harcourt is not safe and all of that. So can you comfortably shoot a movie in any street in Port Harcourt without being harassed? How do you guys go about it?
Okay, so Port Harcourt is a peculiar place because you can shoot anywhere and nobody will disturb you.
Amazing. So if you're listening,
yes, I'm going to say that
shoot
again.
Movie anywhere in Port Harcourt. Unlike another city that we know that everybody now shoots in estates.
Yes.
But in Port Harcourt, you can shoot on the streets.
You can shoot on the streets.
So Port Harcourt is safe.
You can shoot in the creeks. You can shoot Port Harcourt. So the narrative of Port Harcourt is unsafe. It's a blatant lie. Port Harcourt is safe. We shoot here every day. In fact, there's a premiere happening in Port Harcourt. Premieres happen in Port Harcourt every time because we do big films here. Right? Yeah. We have Port Harcourt films that are shot here, premiere in London, Lagos. We have a lot of big films shot here, But the issue we have is the issue of funding.
Okay.
Right? We need to have an intentional move by the corporate sector and the public sector to fund film. Because
okay, so I know that in Port Harcourt there are lots of billionaires in dollars.
Yes.
Yeah, because this is an oil city.
Yes.
You have a lot of oil companies and you have a lot of people that are investors in all of these oil businesses.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to fuse these billionaires in dollars to the movie industry? Because it can be easy. All they need to do is see a good business proposition that this is good for them, because it's in a city like Port Harcourt that you can easily see someone who is doing contracting $10 million, $20 million, $10,000, $100,000, and they are there because we have the IOCs.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing in line with getting a good, marketable, profitable business proposition that you can get these people and tell them this thing is profitable? So if you are a contractor in maybe Renaissance or Total or Mobil and you're making profit of $100,000 per transaction, if you invest money in business, you're not only going to make it once. In movie, you're going to make it as the time goes. So what have you guys done to let these people know? Because what I know is a lot of these guys don't know that these things are profitable.
So as much as I can confidently say that Port Harcourt is safe and Port Harcourt has very competent hands to do films, I think that we've had one backache, which has been the ache of integrity.
Integrity, yes. It's very important in business.
Yes, Port Harcourt is not a state or a country. I call it a community.
Okay.
Where everybody knows everybody. We've had scenarios where big boys in government have given people money to do film and the monies were swindled. People didn't understand how the whole idea of film business, works, and they were funded and people became too creative and lost money because creativity is one thing, business is another thing. So there are two kinds of films from my perspective, yeah? There are artsy films, very creative, everything is looking classy and all of that. Most of those films don't make so much money. There are commercial films that make money. But as much as I want to make an artsy film, right, I shouldn't lose to the point where, come on, I don't even have a capital back, Now,
especially when you have investors' money.
So please find a way to balance your passion and my money. Don't joke around with that, right? Then another issue has been, aside the fact that, yes, we've had serious issues on integrity, that doesn't also mean that everybody I'm a producer, yeah? That doesn't mean that all of us who are producing films in Port Harcourt we don't have integrity. A lot of us have integrity. And that thing is, we've also failed to have an integration between the creative space of filmmaking and the corporate space that's going to give us the funding. So everybody in Port Harcourt University still sees film like a fun activity.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, so call me that. I like that celebrity. Yeah, she will come around. I like that guy. He will come around. So then your house, they have good meals, and trust me, Port Harcourt people give you the best level of love and respect when you come to shoot in their homes. Like they give you their mansions for free. It's like a day out. It's like Christmas, yeah. But we need to convert all of that to profit for us, which is if I'm sitting in front of you and we're having that drink, I should tell you, look, that's $10,000, that's $20,000, that's $1 million you have in your account can give you $20 million in 1 year. If you invest in me, I'm going to make sure this happens, that happens, and that happens, right? Until you're able to have that integration, right? And that's why I'm putting out what they call the Central Film Summit. And everybody want to ask me, what is Central Film Summit? So it's not your regular film festival where you just come and you talk about the concept of making film. It is a public and creative and corporate sector event. So I need to have the government guy come for him to understand the concept of filmmaking as an art and as a business. I also need to get the corporate, the oil and gas boy, the corporate guy, yeah, to come in and understand the concept and of filmmaking as an art and a business. Yeah. So if we have this roundtable conversation, this guy stops seeing me as somebody who wants to, yes,
that he wants to help.
He sees me the same way he sees the oil and gas boy. The same way he wants to invest in bunker and all of that. He wants to invest in because I have the capacity to help him make money, you know. But first of all, we must clean out the dent of integrity. You know, the swindled funds, we need to accept the fact that we've not been good with fund management. We've accepted mediocrity to an extent to the point where it looks like if it's mediocre is fine because we are growing.
Can you call one or two names that have brought this bad blood about swindling money in the industry? Or can you say one or two scenarios?
Okay.
You may not call their names,
Yes.
but let's say, okay, there was this government and they released XYZ amount of money.
Okay, so
and this person was this, and they swindled the whole money, and the person or the government, they were very disappointed. And since then, they have not. Can you say one or two situations?
There is a government system in River State, yeah, that's supposed to guard the region that actually had a fund set aside for filmmakers. So it was, I think as a then it was like 50 million and all of that, right? And then
$50 million
50 as a then it was it was like 50 million naira. It grew, it improved.
Okay.
Yeah. But it wasn't about the size of the money. It was about the fact that a lot of veterans in quote who got there. In fact, when I was beginning, I was part of one where the person that collected the money went to buy a power bike and left the film. Crazy.
So it was a cash out for the person.
It was a cash out. I remember one scenario where a popular, in fact, right now the person is a rave on social media. The person funded a project with 14 million, and the guys went to hire 2 hotels and lodged girls, and we're having fun.
That was the movie.
So the movie was the movie title was Lodged in a Hotel for 2 weeks, and that was the movie title. Beautiful title, but it never came out. You know, we've had scenarios where the government of Amechi gave a certain person 26 million, 40 million. Okay, go to this stuff for Rivers and let's see how it goes. The person collected the money and never did it. We have scenarios of a popular...
And they are never prosecuted.
You see, this money is, first of all, you, the giver and the collector, people, they have problem in their brains. Because, first of all, I can't give you money in the name of investment without having terms and conditions. So you see where literacy comes to play. Illiteracy on the part of you who is giving the money, and that part that the person knows that, okay, this senior man, he just get this money to carry and doing, he has given it to me, yeah? So because you don't have a focus on where you're going to, you feel like if I trash this 10 million, is nothing. Senior man has hundreds of that 10 million. Nothing will happen. There's always a middleman who is always willing to tell, no what, senior man, no go first, chop the money, give my cut. And that giving my court system, that idea that makes you feel like if I swindle the money, nothing will happen, has given birth to the reason why most people, I could tell you that there are big films that have happened in Port Harcourt, in this country, that were funded by very influential, very wealthy Riversmen. Like films that you're like, this film is beautiful. I wish it was shot in Rivers State. It was actually funded by 1, 2, 3, 4 Riversmen.
I know a few.
But why are they not giving us? Because I gave your brother. He ate the money. Now, the person who is friends to the brother that ate the money is first the next investor you want to meet. Over a bottle of wine, don't give him, he will swindle you too. So you said this conversation goes around. Now, when it gets to us who want to put our state on the map, they tell us, I've given 10 of your senior colleagues who had believable pitches, believable proposals, twice shy.
It's not even twice. It's now quadrupled shy.
So this is the problem. But then again, I still feel that, shout out to everybody, as much as I feel that our celebrities are absent, and that is also because of our attitude at some point, right? Because not everybody has the patience to want to wake a dead horse, right? Dead horse in the sense that when you try to say, do this and do it, try to do it, and nobody wants to listen, at some point you feel like, okay, I think you guys are cool that way. I'll just stay in my Lagos and do what I want to do, right? So, but I think that a lot of them are doing good stuff right now. We have Ibim Isaacs, her film, Amanabo, doing amazing work. It had a London premiere. It's going to have a Lagos premiere. It's going to tour around the world. Beautiful idea. We have Sam Dede, part of a movie called The Creek, funded by a Port Harcourt-based person. So I think that's why I said I need them, to come. We have Bobby Rack, yes, Dara, beautiful project,
Bobby Rack is no longer in Port Harcourt.
He's in Port Harcourt. He only has a base in Abuja. He's a Port Harcourt boy.
Your parting shot. What are the 3 things you want to see being achieved in the Port Harcourt creative space? 3 things.
So, my most important thing is collaboration.
That's collaboration amongst creatives, or collaborations between creatives and investors and government policymakers?
Both ways.
Okay, so you need multidimensional
collaboration. I need everybody who is in River State, whether you're made or not, to accept the River State project. There's something they say in Lagos, Eko Onibaje. It means Lagos no go spoil. So can we absorb that mentality and say, look, Port Harcourt, God bless Port Harcourt and nowhere else. Let's accept the River State project. Let's love, not like, River State. This back in the day we say, love River State or leave her alone. So let's not leave her alone. Let's love River State. Thirdly, let's open our mind to learning. There's nothing you can achieve without knowledge.
Thank you very much. Very wonderful guest. We have heard from Ibim today. And so if you ever want to invest in Port Harcourt, especially in the creative industry, it is thriving and it is very lucrative.
True.
And you get the raw talent that you can do anything you want to do with. This is the PowerCast, and I remain your host, Solomon Waiter Next. Have a great time.